Hey guys, Anime Gypsy here with another One Piece chapter review. This is chapter 935, I believe. The chapter is called Queen, and there's a lot to discuss in this chapter. This chapter has 7-ish character points, 5 plot points, 2 overall narrative points, and 2 world building points. And let's start with narrative and world building. The most important overall narrative point to talk about in the story is Hyogoro of the Flowers. Now, from what we learned, we already knew that Hyogoro of the Flowers was the past leader, past boss of the Yakuza, so to speak. And how should I explain this? We find out that he still carries a lot of influence even though he's in jail. So, in a sense, this is both a plot point and a overall narrative point. We understand that this guy was idolized by Oden himself. Oden Kuzuki himself idolized Hyogoro of the Flowers. And I'm curious to see what this guy could actually do on the battlefield. From my understanding, while Oden was growing up, he wasn't necessarily interested in like wisdom and stuff. He was more of a ruffian, and it was only after he was exiled that he got wisdom, and that's when he met Ashura Doji, so to speak. So I have to wonder, was his influence, was Oden Kozuki's admiration of Hyogoro of the Flowers one of, a leader to another leader, or is it something more along the lines of, dude, I admire how strong you are, please take me under your wing, so to speak? And if that's the case, I doubt he still has the strength that he had back in his day. I mean, we get a picture of him when Shinobu was talking about him, and we see him in his prime, and it's obvious that he's past that and he's not as strong as he used to, but it's also obvious that he at least packed some punch back in his prime. Now, the second narrative point overall is Fukuroju's betrayal and Shinobu. So we have a confirmation that Shinobu used to work under Fukuroju until Fukuroju betrayed Oden Kozuki by joining forces with Orochi and Kaido. And we also makes sense that the other shinobi, some of them may have been there while Shinobu's been there and may have seen the whole thing. So this opens up the possibility of other shinobi under Fukuroju joining the cause, but it's not like an overwhelming possibility, but it's still a possibility there. In terms of world building, there are 2 points in terms of world building, and the first one is the octopuses that work at the bathhouses. And this is the thing right now, a lot of people avoid anime and manga specifically because of the over-sexualization and because it just doesn't make the story seem more legitimate. I like One Piece, I really do. I do understand like the quirkiness of specific characters like Sanji. It's kind of been an ongoing thing, but come on, like it's not specifically mentioned, but it's hinted at, hentai. Okay, past that, you have the fact that it's a bathhouse, a unisex bathhouse. And this again makes you question, like, okay. We see where this is going. And again, this is why a lot of people avoid an anime and manga now. They just think it's over-sexualized and it's uncomfortable for some. I mean, I read and watch Shokugeki no Soma, so it's not necessarily uncomfortable for me, but I could understand where other people are coming from, because they think that it delegitimizes the manga or the story in general, because you're just offering eye candy to catch people's attention, and that's a very cheap, move. Not that, but this is the thing, Hollywood does that all the time, and nobody talks about it, but this is something I've heard so many people talk about, outside of the anime community, about the anime community in general. And since I saw this in the One Piece chapter, I thought I'd bring it up. So next is plot. Now we have 5 points in terms of plot. The first one is Raizo stealing the keys, and this is important because now I could free any prisoner and get them out of Sea Prism Stones easy. Raizo himself, I'm not sure if he is under the influence of any Sea Prism Stone. I don't think he is. Raizo steals the keys, and we see him like perform this very fast maneuver. And again, that shows you that even despite his appearance, Raizo is no schmuck. He could maneuver himself around. And then Queen arrives. That's the second point in terms of plot. And with that, you have the Luffy's possibility of escaping just decreased drastically because you have a calamity right here. Then third point is Zoro's swords are stolen, and Zoro again. Let me emphasize: Zoro's sword is stolen again. Which sword it is, not quite sure, but it could be one of two. And I say one of two because there is a very specific... Actually, no, it could be any one of the three now that I think about it. Because if you think about it, Shisui was originally, whose sword it used to be, and it's exactly why Kinemon was going after it, so that could be one of the reasons. Someone might have seen Ryuma's sword, and is like, oh, it's Ryuma's sword, let's go get it. So that's why it could be Shisui. It could be Sandai Kotetsu, because you have the Tengu, whose ancestor built the Kotetsu blades, and he may have stolen the Kotetsu blade, thinking, "Hey, this is my ancestor's sword. You have no right to it. It's mine. It's cursed. I don't think you want to tangle with that." And the third is the Wado Ichimonji, and the reason I say that the Wado Ichimonji might have been stolen is because Oda in the SBS mentioned that a ship made it from Wano Kuni to the East Blue, I think 20 years ago. I don't think that was Zoro. Or actually, no. It may have been Zoro because there was a reference to something that Zoro says, cuts, when he cuts someone, or something like that, that is a reference to like an old thing people used to say when they cut people down in Wano Kuni. So it could be that it was Zoro, but there's a possibility it was someone else, and it's Kuina and the master and Zoro's master, Zoro's sensei. And the reason I'm saying this is because you have one of the highest ranked swords in a fodder level area, the East Blue. Like, how? I mean, that's how that would make sense. If that sword came with its owner on the East Blue, and that owner's ancestor is Kuina, or that owner's offspring is Kuina, and possibly, Jesus, what was her name again? Yeah, see, Smoker's sidekick, Zoro's potential bride. You know who I'm talking about. Jesus, she's been so useless. I forgot her name. All right, so that's Zoro's sword stolen. And then they're being questioned by Queen. That's the fourth point. And then the fifth point in terms of plot is it's Komatsu. And you're basically, and that's obviously how they're going to escape. And that's the only possible way Straw Hat Luffy is going to escape. It's with Komatsu's help. Komatsu's cage is going to be unlocked. He's going to do something. Luffy's going to unlock his stuff. And together they may take down Queen, or may help each other escape Queen. It's going to be interesting. Queen is not known for being the most sensible of people, since we already know that he tortured Kid from the previous chapters. Now, okay, characters. There are 6 points in terms of characters. The first one is a character introduction. Solitaire, a 6-armed monkey smile user. That's the character intro. Daifugu, we finally get an introduction to him. He's the guy that Luffy attacked in the previous chapter. And it's a character introduction. He's the scorpion smile user. And then there's Babanki, who is the head jailer and has the most potential out of all the characters introduced in this chapter. And he's an elephant smile user. And it pains me that this fodder level guy has the elephant smile fruit. At least he's not fodder. I can't dismiss him. He took down Luffy. Granted, Luffy was wearing Sea Prism stones, but still, out of all of the characters introduced, he's the strongest one in this chapter. Out of all the characters introduced for the first time in this chapter, he is the strongest character. Obviously, the strongest is Queen. Jesus, Queen. Yeah. So fourth in terms of character is Babanki. He overpowers Luffy in Sea Prism Stone. making him, in my perspective, the strongest character to get an intro of this chapter. And my favorite animal is the elephant, by the way. It's my spirit animal. My spirit animal, the elephant. The fifth, in terms of character, is actually a characterization point, and it's Queen's Bounty. Queen's Bounty is 1,320,000,000 berries. And Jesus. He has he has probably the third, I think, highest bounty out of anyone we know. I don't know, the third highest bounty out of anyone we know. The first one is Blackbeard's. And the second one, actually no, King's Bounty hasn't been revealed yet. He has the second highest bounty. He has the second highest bounty of anyone we know in the series as of yet. So that's his deal right now. That's his spiel. And he is... Oh yeah. Queen, and this is the final point in character, is the first either bisexual or heterosexual transvestite in the One Piece series. That is interesting, because we find out that he has feelings for a certain deceased/not deceased geisha. Sorry, no, not geisha. Prostitute in the series. And I wonder how that's going to unfold. And it's really pushing the lines of, Sanji versus Queen, because we all know. We all know she's not dead. We all know Sanji's crushing on her. So, I wonder what's going to happen there. So, aside from that, I guess that concludes my review. If you liked the video, please leave a like. And please comment and subscribe. And until next time, guys, this is Anime Gypsy. And I'm out. See you guys later. Bye.